Herman Warm always sees the best in people, and he's not just someone who's also always finding the gold, in the landscape around him, but he's always trying to kind of bring out the gold in people. And sometimes he's a bit trusting. He tells too many people about this, and it means that, he ends up being chased. In a way, the story is about the California gold rush, but there are a lot of parallels with technology and the current, world that we're living in. He's really a kind of founder of a startup heading to San Francisco with this, with this kind of oversized brain and oversized optimism. There were all these kind of, interesting thinkers coming out of Europe who wanted to start these communes and these ideal societies that were all about division of labor, equal wages, that you didn't have to get married, you could be gay, you could be straight, and it was about pursuing your passions and trying to, live a good life together. Quite early on when I spoke to Jacques, it became very clear that he wanted me to try and take this character of Herman Warm and take the essence that Jacques and Thomas distilled into the screenplay and kind of make it my own. In many ways, this is an adaptation. It's not a retelling of the novel. So I'd like to think there's an essence of that character that's been preserved. This is the kind of group of lost boys, really, who are all kind of fathering each other, and it's this kind of dysfunctional family by the end of it. Jacques is one of my favorite film directors. I think, many people see him as one of the finest, directors working in the world today. He always wants to push you to just try something different. He doesn't ever want the thing to stagnate. It's not that he's trying to drive towards one image in his mind that he's preconceived. It's actually that he just wants to keep pushing and prodding the thing and seeing how it mutates and how it might evolve. It's quite an open, fluid, dynamic process. And I personally love that. It's really interesting to see how that early kind of socialism or early kind of communism wasn't a really dry, intellectual, kind of systematic way of thinking. It was really a kind of quite a romantic movement that was pushing against modernity and mechanization and industrialization. It was about kind of connecting with your fellow man and, trying to embrace everything with love. So I found it really inspiring. Warm is a kind of character who, he's young, he's brilliant, he knows he's created an invention that can change the world, he's proud of that, but really he is a lonely guy and he wants to connect with people out of a sense of both his idealism, his optimism, but also his kind of loneliness. He takes risks in reaching out to people and connecting with people. If you think about it, he kind of connects with all the wrong people, but somehow his openness and his honesty and his idealism become kind of infectious. One of the coolest things about this production is when you go into the costume department, there's people speaking in French, Spanish, Italian, English. It feels great to be working on a film set where there's people of all different nationalities. The need to find some purpose and to try and find purpose through connection with other people, and how difficult it can be to do that in a world that's set up to try and divide people from each other, in a world that's driven by greed. It's about how do we try and overcome those structures that keep us apart and connect, because that's really the only thing that's going to make us happy in the end, I think.
時はゴールドラッシュ。誰もが恐れる最強の殺し屋兄弟。
Come cut the back of this for me.
You look funny.
兄弟とその仲間が捉えたのは黄金を探す方法を知る科学者。
A goddamn genius.
黄金が生んだまさかの友情。
Look there.
Yes.
しかし決して手を組んではいけなかった。
Always violent.
We leave them here.
You think they'll kill me?
欲望が男たちを狂わせる。ゴールデンリバー。